when you say the words, the best in brand new music, the best really is in the studio tonight. The one and only Kaiden Nolan.
Yes, Dave, I was live.
How did you like that, didn't you? You did a bit of a dance there when I said that, then I forgot to come to the mic.
And then I swifted.
How you doing?
It's a good job the chair's got wheels, by the way, because I glided across the room then.
Some speed, that and all, you know what I mean? Good effort, good effort. How you doing?
Yeah, fantastic, brother. All the better for seeing you, mate. And Laura's got a dog here, Freddie, as well.
Yeah, there is a dog in the studio tonight, but it's a dog that doesn't really bark, does it?
No, he doesn't bark.
So yeah, we'll be all right. Well,
yeah, it's the first time I've been to Tameside Radio.
It is. I mean, like
when you find it, it's worth it.
We've been together, like, you know, on a journey, musical journey from day one, really, haven't we? You know what I mean? So it's the first time you've joined us on Tameside. You've got loads of great, exciting stuff going on, and most importantly, you've got some brilliant music as well. We're going to talk to you over the next 15 minutes or so about your music, about what's going on in the world of Kaiden Nolan. But your first track we're going to play is your debut solo single, which came out, what, about a year ago now?
Last September, I think. Let's just say that, last September, yeah.
Nearly a year ago. This was the debut solo single for Kaiden Nolan. This is a great track. This is Move. Kaiden Nolan and Move on Tameside Radio. You are listening to the Dave Sweetmore Show, and he is live with us in the studio. And for those of you that have listened and supported this show from day one at various other stations over the last 7 or 8 years as well, you'll know that Kaiden really has been on that journey with us as well. You know, you started as a solo artist, and then along came Scuttlers, and we do still play Scuttlers now and again. So I am going to ask the question, what happened with Scuttlers?
It got to the point where we were doing really well. Still got loads of love for the boys that I was in the band with, but just for my own head, my own heart, my own well-being, I took the very tough decision of disbanding Scuttlers, and because obviously I was a solo artist before, and I always had in the back of my head that I wanted to do my solo stuff anyway. Just the freedom of having my own band and stuff was rather appealing to me, and then I realised that I might as well just do that now. For the goodness of my heart, for the goodness of my soul, Scuttlers had to disband. But I'll still play the songs. I'm still writing Scuttlers-esque music. You know, it's just under my name now.
I've noticed that. I mean, I've known you a long time. That since you've been doing your own material again, you have gone. I don't know if it's more creative or more Kaiden Nolan.
Yeah, but I think both of them are true, Dave. But I can just, like I was just saying to you then, I can brand myself as whatever I want now. I can go and dip into genres. You know, I don't really have to be sort of like branded as an indie artist, as a guitar artist. You know, I'm making all sorts of music in my studio, and it's all good because I'm just playing under my name now. So literally anything is just going to come under my name. It doesn't have to have a genre specifically. It's like when I looked at Bowie, look at the amount of stuff that Bowie got up to. You know, working with different musicians, working with different producers, literally just covering every single bit of music that you can, and that sounded really appealing to me, and that's what I'm going to do. It's
very creative what you're doing. So Scuttlers out the way. Normally when a band splits up, there's a period of time before perhaps one or two of the members come back and do their own solo material. When Scuttlers ended, you, Kaiden Nolan, were pretty much back out straight away with new material. Yeah. Was that important that you didn't have a break, or...?
I could never have a break from this. Not a chance. It's literally all I do. It's all I think about anyway. But it was one of them with after Scuttlers. I like for instance, Move was the first single. I had 20 songs that I could go at. I had indie songs, I had dance songs, and then after chatting with the family and chatting with Caitlin and stuff, I was like, what should I do? What's the most out there thing I can do now? And Move was that one. Doesn't necessarily have a chorus. It was just a good beat, catchy, and I thought, you know what? Why not? Let's just start off on a bit of a mad one and release that, and then. Yeah,
as a friend and as a fan of Kaiden Nolan as well, the one thing that I noticed was Scuttlers, great rock and roll band, but it weren't just the music that you came back creative with. I think you're a bit of a genius as well, because the Kaiden Nolan videos that get put on social media promoting your singles are like, it's just mind-blowingly brilliant.
Well, thank you very much, mate. It took a lot in myself to actually set a camera up and start talking into a camera, and I'm thinking the amount of outtakes I've got. Because I don't write them down. I just go, yes, everyone, right, okay, right, yes, everyone. Mate, it takes 80 takes to make one video, but they're always worth it because...
Do you know what? They are brilliant. I'm not a big watcher of videos on social media and all that, but every time I see Kaiden Nolan pop up with a new one, I watch it and I look forward to it because it's brilliant. So we are going to mention your socials in a bit, but if you're listening and you're a fan of the show and you're a fan of new music, follow Kaiden Nolan on the socials because it's absolutely genius. Anyway, going back to music, we're going to play your second single that you released in a minute. You did release Move, that was your debut single, and then you brought out There Are No Futures a few months ago.
Yep.
It was a few months ago, wasn't it now?
Yeah, I think so.
Early on in the year, this year's flying in it. You brought out There Are No Futures, another great promotional stuff with it as well. Your head everywhere on a yellow background.
Yeah. Well, I just filled the boot up with posters and just went at it, Dave, basically.
Tell us about this single, because it's a very strong title.
Yeah, well, I've written this during COVID when I was still in Scotland's, and I think we played it live with Scotland's a few times. That riff, I've come out of it and it was swung around in my head, and then the way I find it is I just find the phonetics of the words, and then I just come up with There Are No Futures here, and I thought There Are No Futures here, that's a good name for it.
It's really anthemic in it. And as far as like influences for the music you're doing, you've said that since Scuttlers you're doing the Kaiden Nolan stuff, you can bring a lot more influences into the music. Do you find you're listening to different stuff now you back solo again, or is it stuff you've always listened to that you're just inputting?
Yeah, well, I think even with Scuttlers, obviously, when you're a teenager, and you know, like Core Teens had just released I Know Arctic Monkeys had just released AM, you know, like for the indie rock and roll scene, Kasabian had just released 4813, like Weezy on. It was just like a sick time. But then naturally, for like a music head, you branch off into the depths of what music is. Unknown artists, 70s American funk, where there's just a bucket load of just grooves and sick stuff to really get into. And then I got really involved with dance music. Chemical Brothers are a major thing for me, and then when I did my production degree at university and learning how to make electronic music and stuff, it just wired in. So like you'll see with all at least the next couple of singles, there's like a big backbeat behind it, a semi-electronic element. It's all very crossover, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. It's brilliant. Well, let's play it. This was the second single that came out a couple of months back. It's another anthemic, catchy tune. This is Kaiden Nolan on Tameside Radio. There Are No Futures. I'd say this whether he was sat here or not, but Kaiden Nolan has got to be one of the writers of the best, catchiest riffs in the world ever. That's There Are No Futures on Tameside Radio. You're listening to the Dave Sweetmore Show, and Kaiden is in the studio with us now. We've got a really exciting track to play for you soon. His brand new record that doesn't even come out for a couple of weeks. So we've spoke about, Scuttlers, we've spoke about, moving on and the new singles you've got and stuff like that. What are the plans for the future? You've got a new single coming out in a couple of weeks, which we're going to play shortly, but are you planning on doing an album or anything like that?
I want to get a good couple of singles under my belt first. I've recorded another two. So obviously we're playing Dear Faith, exclusive for the Dave Sweetmore Show. Where else would we do it?
Thank you, I like that.
And then I've got another two recorded, so I'm just going to try and stay ahead of myself. But the thing is with singles is that I can do a 4 weeks worth campaign on it, and then overlap myself with another single release 4 weeks after that, and then the socials are going, I've got a reason to post, I've got a reason to make videos, just keep the ball rolling, and then I'd like to think that I'd be recording an EP next year, but I'll get a good couple of singles.
It is an album an option, because when I speak to a lot of new, unsigned bands and musicians and stuff like that, a lot of bands and artists will say now we're not bothered about doing an album because people don't buy albums like they used to.
Yeah.
Or is that something you'd like to do?
Oh, I can't wait to make an album. I know it's not going to be for another year or two, but it's something that I'm definitely going to look forward to. But the thing is when you're releasing singles like off your own back independently, that you can drip feed and then have enough sort of content for people to engage with over a longer period of time. Do you know what I mean? So in terms of an EP, I'd release 3 singles off an EP and then release the EP with another bonus single on it. I think it's just the way it goes these days, because you're trying to grab people's attention on social media, aren't you? And it's hard, but whatever, you got to do it. So that's the method that I would take in that scenario.
Live, from being a solo artist years ago, as a young musician, to being with Scuttlers, you've always been an amazing live performer and live artist. Since you've been doing solo stuff again, since you brought Move out, just less than a year ago, what's happening with gigs? I know you've got a big gig coming up in a few weeks, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, but gigs generally, are you going to be quite an active live artist?
Oh, definitely. I want to get to the point where I'm playing every weekend. I'm looking to get some decent support slots, jump on some tours, and obviously with music, I've only got 2 singles out. It's still early days really with my newfound solo career, but the aim is to be a gig every night if I could, Dave. Obviously, I've got a really top group of lads that play with me. Harry McCann, keyboardist, Matthew Dagger, Cameron Moss, all great musicians that I met at university and in town. I've got some good lads behind me, and we're all game to play. And yeah, hopefully we'll be playing a lot more.
You're playing this Thursday night at Baskin, Stockport. You're supporting Reverend and the Makers. Stanley's are on there as well, another great band. And then you have got a bit of a festival coming up in a few weeks. Word has it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You are going to be playing pretty much the biggest festival in the world, Glastonbury.
Yeah,
so, less than a year ago, you brought out your debut solo single.
Yeah.
And less than a year after that, you're playing at Glastonbury. How's that come about?
Yeah, well, the thing is, the sort of method that I use in terms of like just chanting and trying to get involved in things is the more raffle tickets you buy, the more chance you're gonna at least one's gonna come out. You know, so if I apply for 100 festivals, I might just get 2, I might just get 3, and it just so happens out of them 100 festivals that you apply for, it just turned out to be Glastonbury. That was one of them.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
But yeah, 1 a.m. on. So we're basically headlining the Mandala stage on Friday night, which is stupid. So Arctic Monkeys are going to be finishing at 12. I'm taking 1,000 leaflets down there anyway, so Wednesday, Thursday, I'm just going to be going to every single tent, dashing out leaflets.
So Arctic Monkeys are supporting you. Let's put it like that,
yeah. So they're going to finish at 12, and then I'm just going to try and get. Obviously, there's going to be loads of people that I know anyway that's going to be there.
Yeah.
I want to try and get as rammed as possible and just give everyone an experience that they're never going to forget.
You will. You've always been great at giving, experiences like that. So you've got Baskin, Stockport, you've got Glastonbury. Is there any other gigs coming up anywhere?
I've got a very big headliner show which I can't announce yet, which will be going on back end of the summer. In terms of what's been announced, it's just the few that's happening this month. So yeah, big sold out show, acoustic show on Thursday with Reverend and the Makers, which is obviously just a dream, supporting John McClure, what a legend he is of the game, and Glastonbury, and then we'll see what gets announced over the next couple of weeks.
Which is all the reason to give you a follow across socials. You're dead easy to find on social media.
Kaiden. It's a tricky spelling. No one knows how to spell it.
Give Kaiden a follow right across the socials. So you've got a big announcement of a gig coming up. You're going to announce on the socials. You've got a great couple of months ahead of stuff as well, and of course you are going to be releasing a new single in a couple of weeks, which we're going to play in a minute for the first time anywhere in the world. One thing I do want to mention as well is next week you are our Artist of the Week on Local Music Spotlight on Tameside Radio, which means every single day next week from 7 in the morning till 7 at night you are going to get played on all of the mainstream shows across the station. You're going to get covered in the local newspapers. How important to an artist like you is it that a station like this, a commercial radio station, gets behind new music?
Yeah, I think it's paramount. It's obviously with yourself, Dave. You've been a champion of local music like for ages, a real legend of the game, and it should be a thing that people should just do anyway. But with places like Tameside Radio bigging up local artists, it's a dream for musicians. It's hard out there. You've got to jump on the socials. You've got to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? And yeah, you've got to have the discipline. You've got to have everything else. But then when you've got things like Tameside Radio helping out, it's just that little extra percentage of a leg up in it.
Well, as someone who's like I say known you for a long time, can't wait to be playing you right across the station next week. Right, Kaiden, we're going to let you go in a minute. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, Dave, you're a legend, mate. Thank you.
It's a real pleasure to see it. I always look forward to seeing you. It's brilliant. We're going to play your brand new song now that comes out on the 14th of June. It is called Dear Faith. Tell us a little bit about this song.
Dear Faith was another song that I've written over lockdown. This is basically my letter to the universe, a reminder for myself to keep intact with my spiritual self without sounding too sad and embarrassing. But yeah, it's a funk tune, a philosophical funk tune.
You are quite personal, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's a good thing, that. Stress free, innit? You know what I mean? Do it, get it done. Yeah. Honestly, it's been so good seeing you. Thank you for joining us at Tameside Radio.
Dave. Thank you very much.
And Artist of the Week next week on Local Music Spotlight. You'll find articles about Kaiden in all the local papers in Tameside, Oldham and Glossop this forthcoming Thursday, plus right across our website as well. Give him a follow on the socials. He's one of my favourite people in the greater Manchester music scene. Kaiden Nolan, this is his brand new record. Take it easy, Kaiden. We'll see you soon, yeah?
See you later, guys.
It comes out on the 14th of June. You're going to be hearing a lot next week on Tameside Radio. Comes out on the 14th of June. The brand new record for Kaiden Nolan. This is Dear Faith.